Welcome to this week's edition of Commissioner's Corner. We've reached the last week of the regular season in the WCHA, which I think for all of us is a little bit hard to believe that we've made it to this point, but we have. So I'm going to say we saved the best for last. How about that? Joined today by senior defenseman from Bemidji State, Tina Kampa. Tina comes from Maple Grove, Minnesota, and is about to wrap up her 4-year career with the Beavers this weekend. Tina, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I got a lot of questions for you. We're going to go kind of in a bunch of different directions. So if you're ready, let's just do it. Talk a little bit about how you got into hockey, and then what congruent with that, what got you to Bemidji? What was it about Bemidji?
Yeah. So hockey, my dad grew up playing hockey. So that was kind of the reason why I was introduced to the game. But first I started doing skating lessons, and I actually started in figure skates. And needless to say, that was not my thing, and I did not enjoy that at all. So my dad was kind of kicking himself like, oh, great, like this probably isn't going to work out hockey-wise. And then he was like, just going to try signing up for hockey and try putting her in hockey skates and just see what happens. Like, what do I have to lose? And turns out the hockey skates were what I needed, and I never got off the ice after that. So that's how I was introduced to the game. And growing up, I was very blessed to have a lot of people around me that knew a lot about hockey and just allowed me to excel. And I worked hard at it, obviously. And I had dreams and aspirations of playing college hockey, and specifically at the Division I level. And then I obviously grew up, going to the Gopher games and seeing all the WCHA teams coming in. And that was kind of how I really decided that I wanted to go after that dream of being a Division I hockey player. And then fast forward to high school. Actually, I had a teammate, Summer Thibodeau, who came to Bemidji as well. She was a senior both my freshman year of high school and college. So we ended up playing in high school together, and we ended up playing college together. She was somebody that decided very late to come play here at Bemidji, and that's kind of how I got introduced to Bemidji through that connection of them coming to watch me. And so it turns out Amber Fricklin just liked what she saw, and we ended up building a connection that way. And we created a really awesome relationship from the get-go, and that was a big factor as to why I wanted to come to Bemidji. But it also turned out to be my first letter, my first communication, my first visit, which usually doesn't happen for everybody, that they the first place that they were contacted by. So I think it's kind of cool that it kind of came full circle. But coming here, I knew that when I visited, the coaches were great. I knew that they liked me both as a person and as a hockey player, which I think is very important. And just the culture here, something about a smaller town that loves sports, a university town, especially within the game of hockey. They absolutely love hockey. And I think just the tight-knit community, the awesome people, and the culture, it was definitely something that I could tell right away from the get-go, and definitely something that I am proud to be a part of now. So it was really exciting to end up becoming a Beaver, and I'm definitely happy that I did come here.
I feel like if you're not sure what's next, you could work in the admissions office, because I think you could sell anyone on why they should want to come to Bemidji. So you talked a little bit about the culture, that, kind of it's the town, that everything that makes it special. And I have to tell you, so my first campus visit after I got hired was to Bemidji. And I remember getting back into the car, leaving, and calling my husband and saying, man, there's something special in that locker room. Like, you all made me feel your culture in that however long hour that we spent together. And so I'm curious for you to tell others about the culture. What is it about being a Beaver? What is it that's special in that space for you and your fellow student athletes?
Yeah, that's a hard question, honestly. Like, it is and it isn't. I would say every time I walk into that locker room, I know there's a lot of girls in there that just care about people. And I think that that's something that that's always around in sports, but I think that's something that can also be hindered in sports due to personal achievements and obviously even team achievements. And so for me, it's knowing that people see me as the individual that I am, as a person that I am, even besides hockey, and just getting to know me. And also it allows you to push one another to be the best versions of ourselves. I think that we're always having fun and we're always smiling, but we always go there knowing that we're going to work very hard and try to just get better at whatever it is we're doing that day. And I think that that's something that we don't think about every day when we go there. It almost just happens, and it's innate in us. And I think that culturally, that's something that's super awesome to have, because like I said, not only is that great for on ice, but that's great for off the ice. And I've definitely grown a lot here personally as well. And I think that's also just a testament to the type of people that we bring in here. And I think, maybe we aren't always the most talented hockey players in the country, but we come here because we work hard, we care a lot, and we're going to try to earn every bit of respect and achievement that we can here as a group and as an individual. So that's just something that I always looked forward to coming here before I was even here. And then also once I got here, something that I really never took for granted, because I know that that's just who we are and what we're about. And I think that when other people come in, we just want to make sure that everybody does feel welcome, whether you're a freshman or a visitor, a parent, whatever the case may be. We want everybody to feel welcome. And I think that that's truly how our whole entire program is. And it's hopefully never going to change.
Hopefully not. So this weekend is senior weekend for you, the last home weekend, and actually last regular season weekend for you. Thinking back and looking back over your last 4 years, what would senior Tina tell freshman Tina about the experience, about what to be ready for, about what to enjoy along the way?
Good question. I think I would definitely say, I think I always knew, like, just to be ready for anything and to make the most of everything. But I also would say that I learned a lot about just pushing myself in all areas and trying to just challenge myself, I think, in good ways. And for me, that was schooling, that was obviously hockey, that was in my faith, and that it's just all these personal aspects of my life that I think that I always knew were important to me, and I always knew that I could become better at, but I always had to level up. And I think being here in the environment that I was allowed me to do that. But I also think that I probably would have doubted myself more telling myself that. So I would just say, never doubt yourself. Trust your instincts. You're going to become this person that you never would have thought. So always be willing to make sacrifices and to try new things. And it's always going to work out the way it's supposed to. So don't be afraid to go down swinging, because you will, and that's okay too. But definitely just being very grateful now, looking back, as to how far I've come in all aspects of life. And I definitely 100% don't regret anything, but I just being so appreciative of every moment. And that can be the littlest of things, of walking into the locker room at home, or, leaving my last away trip at Wisconsin, to playing in a packed out arena versus having nobody in the stands due to COVID, like just all the little things, because all of it does truly make a difference. And it was so meaningful to me. And that's the biggest thing that I'm going to miss, is just having this great opportunity and this great platform to do what I love, and just to grow the game and become the best version of myself, for sure.
Well, you're leaving an impact. I know that. There's another area that you're leaving an impact in, a project or a group that I'm really thankful to have you a part of. We unveiled College Hockey for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion about, I guess it's been a couple of weeks now since we formally rolled this out. And it's a group of 27 of us across all of Division I men's and women's ice hockey, who have come together to try to make a difference. Just like you said, try to grow the game, try to better the game. And you represent the WCHA as our student athlete liaison. And first, just wanted to thank you and tell you how proud I am for all the work you've done thus far. But I also just want to ask, why is this group important to you, and why was it something you wanted to be a part of?
Another great question. Besides the fact that you asked me, a big reason as to why this group's important, or I could probably sit here all day and talk to you about that, but a couple of them were obviously this summer, and all the social injustice and the police brutality and the unlawful killings and all those things. That's never, I don't care who you are, if that doesn't make you feel the way that you should, then you're not human. And so that was obviously a big factor, 100%. And I think obviously, like it was mentioned before, that's why we're together, and that's why we created a group like this, 100%. But another reason is to just grow the game like we've been talking about. And that's a lot of areas that need a lot of help from us, and hence the diversity, equity, and inclusion factor. And for me personally, obviously, for those that don't know, I was adopted from Bogota, Colombia, into a white family and a white community. Very, very thankful for my life that I've had thus far, with opportunity, accessibility, not only to the sport of hockey, but just to life in general. So that's always something that I've been very aware of, and utilizing my privilege in that sense, and understanding now the platform that I have, being a Division I hockey player, and in the game of hockey that, like I said, the areas that we need to work on. And I think just bringing the game to people that don't know what hockey is or don't have the accessibility to that, to me, that's important, because if I wasn't in the family that I was a part of, who knows where I would be, if I would know what hockey was, if I would be playing hockey. And for me to even say that is kind of surreal, because I don't think about that very often. And I think it saddens me that the people, that's their reality. And I think that hockey is an area where we've reached a lot of success, specifically on the men's side, just specifically at the professional level. And I think there's so much we can do to give back. And I think obviously that's why we created a group like this. And at the collegiate level, we can see the game growing. And I think even on the women's side, it's grown tremendously since I've been here as a freshman. And it's really awesome to see. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd play in front of a sold out crowd, which was awesome when we went to Madison. And even if I wasn't winning the game, I didn't care. It was just, the atmosphere was amazing. And I want every girl and boy to feel that they can achieve that someday, no matter who they are, what they look like, their background. I think that's so important. And obviously, just to diversify the game, there's so many great people within the game of hockey, whether that means they're playing or administration, or they're just a part of the game in some way, shape, or form. No matter who you are and what you look like, you should always feel accepted and valued in this game. And the only way that we can really make that happen is a cultural change and a cultural shift that we've obviously been talking about as well. And we know that's not going to be easy, but we know that's something that it needs to happen. And there's people that feel the same way I do and you do, that are going to work there and do everything they can to make that happen for everybody else. So, like I said, I could keep going on and on about which is a good and bad thing, but knowing that I'm going to just do everything I can to make hockey a better game, and a game that's enjoyable and an awesome experience for everybody, has always been the goal. And the fact that I can do something even more with an awesome group like this is something that excites me. And I know that change is going to come, and I just can't wait to see it all happen.
Yeah, I think, the thing that resonates with me every time we meet, we've been meeting, this large group has been meeting since September. We've done a lot of work before we even publicly said, hey, we're here. And just a quick plug of our website, it's www.collegehockey4dei.com. It's a great resource and something we're really trying to push. And I think you spoke, so as a part of the press conference and as one of the student athlete speakers, you spoke a lot about the platform that we have, and about the differences sometimes between women's hockey and men's hockey, and the platform that women student athletes have versus male student athletes. And so, for you, if there was one particular area that you really would want this group to focus on, what would that be for you? What do you really want this group to accomplish at some point here as we really get into the work?
That's a good question, Jen.
I'm getting you. I'm trying to prepare you.
Yeah. Honestly, the one thing that's kind of been continuously flowing in my head is the outreach part of it. And so some things that I've actually been thinking about are just going as a group, or breaking up into groups or whatever, but bringing the game to people to try, and the outreach part of that, and to educate them, and to basically do like a high intensive hockey camp for people. So obviously, depending on the age and who you are and all those things, will kind of determine what that all could look like. But I just think bringing the culture that we really want to create into a group, and we've seen it, a group of people that have never seen the game before, and just to see the way that they pick up sticks and they go around and they have fun and they laugh, like, to me, that's the biggest thing, because I know at the end of the day, they're having fun. Mm-hmm. So to start there and to go on to people making a living, people being role models and breaking barriers and creating all this amazing history so that young people can be a part of in the future and look up to that. Like, to me, that's something that we don't have in all areas. And that also brings me to the diversity part of it. And obviously to the equity part of it. We don't see that on the female side for everybody. We don't see that in Black hockey players or Hispanic hockey players or Asian hockey players. And to me, like, all of that is so important. And that here I'm only Latino and that only affects me. Like, I want everybody to have those experiences, all people, all races and ethnicities and all cultures, to just have that availability to the game. Because I think anybody that comes in contact with the game of hockey that's had a positive experience knows how great it can be. And I think if that can be positive for every single person, like, why not? Why not allow them to try it? Why not allow them to, whether it's have fun or make a career out of it or all the in between? Like, there's so much that I've learned in the game of hockey that I'm applying to life, and I'm applying to all the things that I've experienced, and I would not be the same person without it. So that's something that I hope all people can have the choice of doing if they choose to. And obviously I hope that they'll have the possibility to do so.
Yeah, well said. We've got our work cut out for us. I think we know that, but it at least for me, every time we're together and we've got such a committed group of people, that it just feels like we're going to get there, you know, and that it might not happen overnight, but we've talked about it. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're in it for the long haul, and you're in it with us. And I thank you for that, whether you're, you know, regardless of what happens next year and whatever plans you make, you're still doing a part of this group and helping all of us who love the game make it better. Speaking of the game, let's switch gears backwards. St. Cloud comes to Bemidji this weekend, last games. I know you got some friends on St. Cloud's team. I mean, it's kind of a special, unique way to finish. So what do you think the keys are for the game?
Yeah, absolutely. St. Cloud, they're a great team. They have a lot of talent, a lot of skill. Haven't played them in a couple of weeks here, and obviously at home it's a different feeling, different vibe if you ask any of the Beavers. And like you said, last game for some of us ever, and last game of the season. So we know that, and we're ready for that. But we just got to make sure that we continue to be playing Beaver hockey. And for those that don't know, we got to be shut down defense. We got to block shots. And this year we've kind of struggled with getting pucks on net and scoring goals. So that's something that we know we are capable of, but that's something that we need to obviously implement into our game. But we know that we got to work for the offense first, and making sure we take care of our defensive zone is going to be obviously primary factor number one, but we're going to work for that offense this weekend. And I think we're going to have success this weekend with that. And I'm excited to hopefully score a couple more goals and go out with a bang.
Yeah, there it is. Got to put one in the back of the net for sure. But right now, leading the country in block shots as a team, which is, you know, a great, maybe not the stat sometimes you want to be leading the country in, but also just shows how well your defensive unit's playing together. So will be fun to see it on ice this weekend. All right, we're to the end. This is the part where I throw some really fast questions at you, and it's the first thing that comes to your brain. So we'll see. Hopefully these aren't too hard for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And get to know Tina a little bit. All right, here we go. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Me too. Favorite movie?
Oh man, this is so hard.
There's no wrong answer.
I know that's the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the one that's coming in my head, not favorite, but top 5, The Hate You Give.
Okay, I can get there. How about favorite holiday?
Christmas.
So is it Christmas because it's family, or is it Christmas because it's a break from hockey?
It's Christmas because of the food.
Food. I haven't heard that one. Okay, I like it. Biggest fear?
The ocean.
Really?
Like not like the shore, but like I have no idea what's under there, and I don't need to know, and I will never let you know because I won't be down there.
Okay. Fair. So that might take us into our dream vacation. Where are you dream vacationing? Not on the beach, probably.
Well, maybe. I mean, kind of depends. I would say I have to go to South Africa, I think.
Okay, I like that.
But I do still enjoy the beach. I will say that.
Okay, as long as you're walking on the beach, just on the edge, toes in the water type thing.
In the middle with nothing else around, I'll be okay.
Got it. Guilty pleasure TV show?
Oh, I'm watching a lot right now.
This is funny. Sometimes I ask that question and it's like, I don't watch TV. Now I get the reverse. I'm watching a lot.
Okay, well, right now I'm obviously watching The Bachelor, but I'm ashamed of that if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, there's that's a whole other conversation for us right now, Tina, if we go into all the drama around The Bachelor. I've watched, I think, almost every year of that too. And this year, the last 2 years, I don't know. Anyway, game day pump up jam.
Ooh, anything Beyonce, anything upbeat, but Beyonce 100%.
Favorite WCHA opponent and why?
Ooh, that's another hard one. Okay, I'll go with rivalry UMD. Specifically, probably at their arena.
Okay, I like it.
Because I know it's always going to be a good game, and there's going to be goals, there's going to be penalties, there's going to be lots of physical contact. It's everything you ever want, honestly, and it's always going to be a good game.
Best hockey memory.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with 2 because different. I'd say high school junior year, we made it to the state championship. I would say specifically the semifinal and the final games were very memorable. We beat the #1 team, Home Murray, who I actually played with a couple of girls here at Bemidji, and they had a lot of Division I players, and they were like undefeated until the season before that. Ended up beating them 1-0. That was the longest game of my entire life. Brianna Blessy at Wisconsin stood on her head, and Taylor Wente scored the game-winning goal. Still remember it like yesterday. Then fast forward to that championship game. Lost on a 5-on-3, was in the penalty box, couldn't do anything about it. Crystalline Hengler, Naomi Rogi, all them on the ice. They're probably going to score 5-on-3. They're just that good. So that was sucky. Probably could have won the game, but still very memorable because I'd never made it to the state tournament before, especially that far. That was the first time in Maple Grove history. And then I will say one of the coolest things that I've got to do in college was definitely playing in Hockey Day Minnesota outdoors, specifically in Bemidji, which was awesome. And obviously it was very warm up until that weekend. And then it proceeded to be like -10, which honestly isn't that bad up here, but nice and sunny. It was really cool. I've always wanted to play in an outdoor game like that, and to do it in a college uniform like that too. That was really awesome.
I love both of those. Very different. You're right. Thanks for sharing both. Okay, last one. What's one thing nobody knows about you?
Oh boy, nobody knows about me. Most people don't know that I've actually never been back to Columbia. And they always ask me that, or like if I have, or if I'm planning on it. Yes, I'm planning on it. Do I know when that'll happen? Probably not. But I have never been back there yet.
Yet. There it is. Keyword, yet. Yet. Good stuff, Tina. Thanks so much for joining me. Tina and the Beavers are on the ice against the Huskies of St. Cloud this Friday and Saturday in Bemidji, both games on Flow Hockey. Tune in to check it out. No doubt will be some great competition. Thanks, Tina, so much for joining me, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks for having me.